has been a busy deadline day for Tottenham Hotspur, and about 2 hours ago, we got the here we go for Randal Kolo Muani to Tottenham Hotspur, a player they tried to sign in January. They've got in the door now, and they've got him on loan with no obligation to buy. So I think that's quite good in terms of the feasibility of the deal. But is that enough for Tottenham? Because I've seen a lot of negativity around Tottenham signing Kolo Muani from Tottenham fans, not very happy. And I think the player itself is a good player. I think that he is a good player. He proved that at Frankfurt. He proved that at Juventus. He wasn't good at PSG, but there's a good player there. But I think you need more. I think that you've signed a good player. I think for me, he's better as a striker than a left winger for Tottenham, but you definitely need a left winger. Xavi Simons is an unbelievable signing. Kudus is looking like a steal. Palin is a stopgap until you go for a Wharton Baleba type player next summer. Fair enough. Kolo Muani seems like another stopgap. And I think at striker, with Solanke's injury issues, with Richarlison's injury issues, that is very smart. But I still think you need a left winger. Now, there is talk from Alistair Gold that Tottenham are looking to sign a left winger. Now, if you could get Semenyo and Kolo Muani, I think that would be a fantastic end of the window. I don't know if Tottenham are going to do that. If you do that, I will do another video on Tottenham tonight or tomorrow. Depends how much time I get. But I want to talk about Kolo Muani. I want to talk about the way Tottenham could line up with him, just overview a little bit about the player, because I think there's a lot of negativity around this signing, and I think the player himself is a decent player, and I think he'll be all right for Tottenham, and I think he suits Thomas Frank's system well. I think the negativity should more be directed towards Levy for leaving it this late in the window, for sort of panicking and doing stuff on deadline day. Obviously, it's not been helped from the Morgan Gibbs-White situation, from the Eze situation, but you got around that with maybe a better signing long-term than Xavi Simons. But could Tottenham have shown more ambition and gone for a Semenyo? Could Tottenham have gone out for this left winger or that left winger? I think, I think Kolo Muani for me is more of a striker than a left winger, but he can cover those roles. So let's talk about this and how he fits in, and the real reason I think Tottenham have signed Kolo Muani. So I was looking at Chosen 11 and building lineups here, and these are 3 different lineups here. Now, the first lineup is like PSG, sort of did a front 2, where maybe it'd be Kolo Muani and Kudus as a front 2, or it could be Solanke, could be Richarlison. Simons is the 10, and I've gone Bentancur and Palhinha behind them just because I think in big games Thomas Frank kind of likes that for stability. But I mean, Sarr has practically been undroppable for Tottenham at the moment, and then a Doggy Porro and a back 3. Now, I think with you not signing another centre back, I don't think Thomas Frank's going to go with back 3s. There was a rumour of you getting Nathan Ake. Is there any truth in that? You'd have to let me know. Now, as of now, if you don't sign a left winger, it could be a situation of Richarlison or Solanke up top, Kolo Muani on the left. Now, Kolo Muani does suit how Thomas Frank would use wingers a lot more than how Ange would use wingers. He's not someone that you'd want on the touchline. He's someone that definitely works better in central areas and someone that likes to be sort of the left half space, and he could work fine there. I think he can do a job on the left, but I don't think he's an out-and-out left winger. It's like signing Tell and paying him striker, but I don't think Tell's an out-and-out striker. And this question's over Odebear and Tell, and we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But you could see something in games where you are trying to be more attacking, with Sarr, Bergvall, Simons, Kolo Muani, Kudus, maybe Richarlison or Solanke. That's quite good. Or you could see Kolo Muani up top with Simons in the 10, Kudus on the right, and a new signing on the left. Because Johnson, I think under Thomas Frank's best position would potentially be number 9, because Thomas Frank wants his wingers to be good ball carriers and be able to get the ball up the pitch. And Johnson's the guy, when it comes to the final action, he's really good at it. Johnson is one of the best players in the Premier League when it comes to final action, being in the right area at the right time, putting in the right cross, getting the right shot off, finishing it. But actions 4, 3, and 2, Johnson doesn't bring, but he brings action 1, which is a very important action in goals. But with Kolo Muani, you know that he can dribble. With Kudus, you know that he can dribble. So maybe you look at a left winger potentially going in there, or Johnson on the left and Kolo Muani up top, because Solanke and Richarlison are injury prone. But I actually want to talk about the signing because I think Kolo Muani himself is a good player. I still think Spurs, I don't think they've 100% done enough for Thomas Frank this window. I think I didn't really watch the Bournemouth game. I was going to do a video on it and everyone was like, no, it's just a rubbish game, Alice. So I didn't bother doing a video on the Bournemouth game. I didn't bother really catching up on it. So about 15 minutes of it. But I said in my video on Tottenham the other day, if Tottenham score first, I think they're all right, because the game opens up and they're very good at transitioning. But the minute Tottenham got to create and break down low blocks, they didn't create anything versus Bournemouth if you look at the statistics. Now, Xavi Simons is a big tick for that. But that Xavi Simons in itself is not enough. Of course, Kulusevski and Maddison being injured is big blows, but they need someone else. And with Kolo Muani, he brings a lot more than Richarlison outside the box. Richarlison's really good in the box at being a nuisance, at shooting, at scoring those headers, at getting those goals, at getting shots off. Richarlison is good in the box, and he's a good worker. Solanke's quite good outside the box at linking play, dropping deep, but in the box, he's sometimes not where you want him. Kolo Muani has a mix of the two, and I think he, for me, could be Tottenham's starting striker. I almost think his best role is striker, and he starts for Tottenham at striker, despite Richarlison being good. So let's discuss the move. It's a low move. Oh my god, that was a loud text. It's a low move, and it keeps costs low, which means it doesn't eat into your budget for next season, where you may chase a Semenyo or you may chase another kind of player. I think a bit like Palhinha. I think Palhinha and Kolo Muani says to me that maybe Tottenham have plans and have a bit of leeway to spend big next summer. It covers the striker and left wing roles, which is much needed depth. We do have to talk about Tell and Odebear. I think Odebear is better than Tell, but I think Odebear's low on confidence. And I also think Tell's the kind of player that needs a run of games to be good, and he's not going to get that at Tottenham. Now, I think Tell was misprofiled by Ange. But look, he's not a glamorous winger. He's not the Semenyo that would have been perfect for Tottenham. But I think he comes in a striker and would start. And I think he can do a job on the left. And I think he suits Thomas Frank ball well. You're looking at a player that got 37 goal contributions in 46 games for Frankfurt. He went to PSG, he was crap. He missed that City in the World Cup. I feel like he's one of those players that has worse PR. There's some players out there that I don't think are very good, but social media think they're like one of the best players in the world. Like I said so many times, Garnacho is better than Jamie Gittins. Chelsea got him for 15 million cheaper than Jamie Gittins. But according to social media, Jamie Gittins is amazing and Garnacho is rubbish. And we will see this season at Chelsea, if I'm right. I think Nico Williams has got PR from the Euros and is overrated. And I think Kolo Muani, because of the World Cup miss, because of his time at PSG, it's almost become a bit underrated. Like I fell into this trap of not rating Kolo Muani because he was crap at PSG and just seeing what everyone wrote about him. But then I watched him a little bit at Juventus, and I was like, nah, there's a player here. Like he's actually an all right player. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got like worse PR. Like I think Nicholas Jackson is a much better player than the internet makes out Nicholas Jackson is. But when you watch Kolo Muani, the point I was trying to make is technically he's a decent player. He's very good at carrying the ball. He's very good in transition. He's very good at covering large spaces with the ball, which is exactly what Thomas Frank likes. And I think he could be good under Thomas Frank. I think he's a player that in the right environment, he can shine. I do think Tottenham breaking down low blocks is an issue, and he again is a transitional player. But I think he works well with Kudus and Xavi Simons, and I think his technical ability means he will be all right in tighter spaces. So here are my notes on the player. He loves to run the channel and stretch defences. He's direct runner in behind, likes to create space for others, has good link-up play, can make layoffs for runners, and I think he would work well with players like Simmons and Johnson. He's a good presser. He can trigger pressing traps, get Spurs to win back the ball high. What I think he's most dangerous at doing is getting the ball and carrying over a large amount of ground, and Johnson can't do this. Johnson could do the final action, but he can't do that, and Thomas Frank wants that. I think he's good in transition, but he's got the technical quality, and he's better than Richarlison with his back to goal, holding up the ball, like dropping deep, getting involved in play, getting the ball up the pitch. Like, he's good at that as well. So that's what I think he would bring. Can run the channels, can stretch defenses as a runner, is athletically good. I know he's skinny, but he's definitely stronger than he looks. Technically good, can hold off players, can dribble with the ball. Good close control, quick feet, good hold up, good technically good. Has the Thomas Frank trait of being good in transition, being a good runner with the ball, comfortable dropping deep, linking play. His runs could be found by Xavi Simons. His ability to carry the ball also complemented by Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons can find his runs. He could play Xavi Simons who can make forward runs. Him and Xavi Simons, I think, work together. Kudus also works together. He is good at creating chances in tight spaces against low blocks. And what I mean by that is creating chances from self. Solanke, I feel like, does a lot of good work, and then he gets to the box, and sometimes he gets no service, but there's just not enough. Like, he might not even have a shot. Or maybe he takes too many touches, or maybe he overthinks it. What Kolo Muani is good at is getting shots off quickly. He's good at getting shots off quickly. He's good at getting the ball and shooting. And I think sometimes you just need to shoot. or you just need to be there, which I think is what Richarlison has over Solanke, is you just need to be there. And I think Kolo Muani has bits of what Richarlison's good at and bits of what Solanke's good at, and is a bit of a mould of the two. And I think that would be good for Tottenham. He can just get those shots off quickly, but also bring a bit more than Richarlison outside of the box. He's also got a good work rate. And I think he raises Spurs' level because, as I mentioned, he's better than Richarlison outside the box. He's better than Solanke inside the box. Solanke is a very good player outside of the box, but not so much inside the box. Richarlison is a very good player in the box, but not so much out of the box. And he's a blend of the two. He can play centre forward, he can play left wing, he can play in a front two. And I do sometimes think, could Tottenham try a front two? Could they do a 4-4-2? We've been talking about Newcastle with Voltamada and Vissa. Liverpool with Ekitike and Isak. Could the front twos be back? We saw Marmoush and Ekitike and what they did at Frankfurt last season. But he brings pace, power, and high shot volume. A player that can carry the ball over large distances is a big tick for Thomas Frank. A player that has a high shot volume is a big tick when it comes to trying to win a game against a low block. And he is a threat, and he complements Kudus, he complements Simmons, and it's a low risk. This is a loan. It's a minimal financial risk. This is a loan. He's covering you for competitions because you're in the Champions League. You need the depth. He's bringing depth because of the injuries you have. You know, even if it's not long term, it makes you harder to beat now. He improves the 9 spot for sure. There's going to be questions over Telenoda. One of them is going to probably have to go on loan. But I think that's a good signing. And I think the player in itself is a good signing. But I think to make it a good transfer window, you probably need a left winger on top of that. I don't know if Levy's left it too late. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.